Hello there, everyone. Momus Najmi here, and welcome to the world of Momus podcast. What should we talk about today? Well, an update as usual. Sorry, I had to drink some water. My throat is really dry. Um, yeah, still no internet. I think so. I mean, I'm projecting now in the future. I'm talking in the future now because I'm going to schedule this as still I'm still on 10th of October and I am recording this to go out in the last week of October, I think so. So, no internet still, so I won't be able to, and I wouldn't have uploaded anything unless from some miracle Virgin has acted quickly and given me internet before the 6th of November. Anyway, so what should we talk about today? Um, Exploring inner self a bit, I think so. What is your personal nature and stuff? I don't think so most people take the time to think about such things. Let me get another sip of water. I'm trying not to edit anything out in these episodes because I don't have enough time, so I just want to I don't have enough time because I'm recording a lot of these episodes on the same day. So I just want to, yeah. And now I'm wasting time actually explaining why I don't, I don't have time. Anyways, I'll just sip some water first. Yeah. So, what are we talking about? Exploring inner self. Yeah. So most of us, I don't think so. We take enough time to explore our sort of like inner dimensions. What is our core nature? Who are we? Self reflect on our thoughts, and not just self reflect on our thoughts, but actually self reflect on our nature. We tend to project in our life what influences us, what might be trending, and we think, oh yeah, that's me, so if there's a lot of issues going on, let's say in the cities within Britain, we will try to pretend to be but oh yeah, I like towns and villages, I like the countryside more than I like the cities and stuff, and we try to force that upon ourselves because we don't want to seem as if we like something that is trending to be bad. And it's not just how we live, and so on. It's also about a lot of like what we like and what we don't like people who might like let's imagine like fantasy, or like not even fantasy, like in that regard, but superhero movies would start pretending that they don't like superhero comics movies, or anything of that sort, because, or games and stuff, because it's trending that they are bad, or like, 'cause obviously in these days you can see why, because Marvel and DC and whatever, they're creating absolute crap. So and they're destroying the core of those stories. So we say, oh, but these are actually, people look down upon superhero stories and stuff of our time, but these are the mythologies of the current time that we're creating sort of for the future as well. Every era creates a certain kind of mythology and stories and stuff, so we have to look at them from this point of view. Even like when you say the big, they're not the big, the not big is not the right word, the more important, the more fundamental mythologies that we have created within fantasies of Lord of the Rings stuff. It's sort of within our era. It's not within my lifetime. I'm not that old, but it's within our, like, 2 or 3 generations sort of. That's something that is going to sustain in the future. So these things do have importance because they carry within them morals. Anyways, we weren't talking about this. We were talking about something else. We're talking about what liking, like self-reflecting without judgment, and investigating what you actually like, what is your nature, without influence, or too much influence from or any influence, to be honest, from what's trending, but not too much influence from other people. And yeah, I've been thinking about it as well. Like, I think so. I'm torn between these things. So sometimes I really need to sit down with myself and think about it, like, because I have this inside of me that I want to go into the mountains and just live in the mountains, right? Want to see mountains, Gandalf? Yeah, and just stay there, like have a cabin or something. Just cut myself off from society and just live in seclusion. I do not think that that's actually my nature or something that I want, and I'm very conflicted by it because I also don't like being in the city or around a city or whatever, like, with a lot of people all the time as well. And so but I like the convenience of the city. I am a product of metropolitan cities and stuff because all my life I grew up in Kuwait, which is sort of like a city country. Then I lived for a decade in Karachi, which is one of the biggest metropolitan cities and that you can find. um, and then I came to London, and when obviously London, I didn't expect, it was just too expensive anyways, and the culture was too broken. It had no connection with the country anymore, so I moved out. But I have missed not London itself, but that metropolis, so to speak. But I do have I do get agitated around a lot of people as well. I can't bear it for too long. I don't like overcrowded places and stuff. So I started thinking, like, but something that I think so I touched upon last week or the one before. I don't know, like, because I'm doing them in one day, recording these episodes. I might be conflicting my own thoughts a bit, conflating my own thoughts. Sorry. Um, I talk about this. It shouldn't be an either and or thing, and I think so. That was about civic nationalism and ethno nationalism. Yeah, so that must be 2 weeks prior or something. Um, it's not just about politics and stuff. It's about your entire life, right? We are complex being, and our natures are complex, and they change as well with time. Because what we thought we liked before, we sometimes we change, not by trends and stuff, but we do change by trend and stuff as well, and that is not good because you're always going to be unhappy in that medium when you're letting trends, social trends, change you. But sometimes we change because we have different responsibilities in life, and we start liking different things, and we are in different stages of our life and stuff. uh, but most of the time we try to get the black and white of things in either or, like, or I'm either, I like, in this case of city, living in cities and stuff, or I either like living in cities, or I like living, like, up in the mountains and, like, far away from people. uh, there are happy mediums in between in life about every single thing, right? So you sort of have to amalgamate sometimes different natures of yourself, different complex natures of yourself to find that happy medium. And what I realized is, um, what I think I like is either have the access to a city, so living on the outskirts, or living within the city, but having, like, living in a place within a city, which might be in, around, or whatever the city, but it's sort of like in a pocket, which is also feels a little bit disconnected uh, from the city, because then you have sort of like a sanctuary. It's sort of like a sanctuary, right? A sanctuary within the city, so you can avail the city, go out, and it's not that much of a inconvenience that you don't have to drive that much and stuff. You can use the public transport even, like, because you within the city, but you have a place that your home becomes a sanctuary, that when you come into the home, it's sort of disconnected, not entirely disconnected, but it's like much safer. It doesn't have the negative effects of the city. I think so. That's in some cities you can do that. In other cities like London, to be able to do that, you have to be extremely rich, right? because there are places by Chelsea, Kensington, whatever, where, where there is that happy medium that you can retreat to a place within London which is a lot safer, nicer, quieter, so to speak, more peaceful compared to the rest of it. But you can still avail the rest of London peacefully. I've seen that in the west part of London as well. Um, yeah, I can't remember the place of it, but like, sometimes they are more expensive, those places. But I think so that would be a happy medium. And for me, like, when it comes to living and stuff. But also you start investigating other parts of you when you start self-reflecting on your nature. And I think so, when I got cancer, right, when I was diagnosed with cancer, it makes you think about a lot of things. You confront it for the first time. For most people, it wasn't the first time for me. You confront it with your mortality, right? So, and sort of it makes you think about what's important and what's not important in your life, and what you actually want to do, or at least it shifts you towards trying to find what you actually want to do. What happened with me as well. Now I say why, because it wasn't the first time I was faced with my mortality, is because I was 4 years old when I was in the Gulf War. So I saw death from a really young age, and I've been in situations since then, especially in Pakistan, where I faced my mortality, so to speak, on a regular basis. Or um, that death was, it's sort of like living over there showed me like how vulnerable life is, and how death is just inevitable and you can't live in fear of it. So that maybe put me in good stead when I actually got diagnosed, because um, I wasn't too precious about a lot of things. You know. So yeah, what I was saying was, when I got diagnosed, it did, because in my early years, obviously, I wasn't married or anything, so I had different responsibilities, different way of looking at things. When I did got diagnosed, I think so. My first thought was towards my wife, and thinking if she's going to be okay. Um, what emotions she would have to go through if something were to happen to me. Um, what pain it would bring her. And then straight after that was, will she be secure enough? Will I be able to provide enough for her, enough security for her, so that she doesn't have to worry about things without me, if I were not there. And and also that I want to do all I can, not just to be able to provide for her in the future, or make the necessary sacrifices, not take the overbearing risks that might jeopardize the security that I'm trying to lay down for her in case of anything. But also, I want to do all I can, if I have the ability, to do all I can to make sure that the world that I will leave behind, as well the society, the community, and the nation that I'll leave behind, is also better, sort of a thing. Safer, that I've contributed in some little way, and I've motivated some people to contribute as well, other people in a positive way, so that you know that if I'm not there to protect her, that at least it's not a bad world to be in, the way you would need a lot of protection. But obviously, I know, like, she has close family as well, and they're really good people. So, uh, but she's my wife, so I take that responsibility. I feel as if she is my responsibility and stuff. But the reason why I was telling you this, I do get sidetracked a lot. Sorry about that. Yeah, the reason why I was telling you this is because um, I've seen this in a lot of people when they are faced with difficult situations in life, difficult events happen, and difficult decisions need to be made. They don't take the time to self reflect. They don't take the time to take the ego out of situations, um, and just think about things and take themselves completely out of the situations at times, and investigate their own thoughts, what they need, who they are, and what's important and who's important to them and what's less important, right? Instead, what people think is either people try to cling on to whatever trends that are going on to get the attention, to get the love that they never got maybe as a child, or and also use it as a way to hide their emotions so they don't have to confront their emotions, right? So it's easy to get trapped into those things. That's why I would say, like, whenever there's a, not even if there's a change, but make it a regular habit to sort of like meditate on these things about the events that have happened with you or to you or around you, weekly or monthly at least or something, and think how you feel about it and also what you think about it with and without you in those situations, so you can think beyond, learn to think beyond yourself, how they affect you, and and so it gives you a perspective, and also be confident or be strong enough to see what is a trend and what you have started doing just as a trend, which might not be helpful to you, and be strong enough to say no, right? Even if others would say, oh, you're a turncoat, or you change your mind, or you flip-flop, whatever, doesn't matter, because those people don't matter, right? What matters is the people that are important to you, and if you're doing right by them and being true to yourself, that is more important. So self-reflection is extremely, I think so that's extremely important. Self investigation within yourself. And apologies if, like, I'm boring you with my own stories and stuff, but trying to relate that, because it's easier to relate when you think about when you try to relate your own stories to people, then it's easier to talk about these very important and heavy subjects. I find that this the lack of self-reflection in individuals in our society currently in the West is one of the reasons, core reasons, why we have all the issues that we have. We are unable to be true to ourselves. We have trapped ourselves in this materialistic hellhole. We think these materials are going to make us happy. We are trying to bury our emotions into trends and into whatever fads that are out there, and not really taking the time to self-reflect, and think why we're doing things, and think who we are, what we want to be, what is really at our core and stuff. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you today. And I'll see you next time. Be good till then.